Solo, you have finished me. You know the way you invest some kind of money in your account, the regional manager will call you for a meeting. You wouldn't know regional manager when you are 200,000, 100,000, 20,000, 800,000, until you drop 800 million. 1.2 billion. No. Manager, you can't handle this guy. Send him to the region. They will have a regional meeting. They want to know you. And they tell you, you just need to know us and the rest of them. They didn't know you when you were putting 20,000. They want to know you now when you are putting 1.5 billion. We need to know you and the rest of the things. You are a poor man. If only you can withdraw money on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's the only time you can withdraw money. And once it's 4 p.m., they say we have closed counter. We want to do carnival. We cannot, whatever, you cannot withdraw. That is the poor man. The one that has 2 billion. We call regional manager on Sunday afternoon. Bring 300 million to the house. Yes, sir. A bullion van start moving. And start moving. And they water with security. They are bringing money to you on a Sunday. Meanwhile, they told you that you can't withdraw money unless it's work day. God punish poverty. I was talking with my friend, and he came into town. He was telling me that they came into town and they needed 200 million. And they called the regional manager that we need 200 million now. Sign check. There was alteration here, sign on top of it. Queue in the line. So who you are? There are people, someone signs their check. As I say, bring 200 million. He says, where are we? He said, we are somewhere, but we are moving. They're finding us. So they carried 200 million and they were looking for a man. And by the time they caught up with him, he said, sorry, sir, we came late. And that was on a Saturday. And on the road, they shared 200 million. Take this one to that man. Take this one to that man. 100 million, transfer it, or you will move. Saturday. The reason God's people are small is that they don't understand how to transact for sovereign wealth. They have been kept on the low side. And the system has a way of wiping you out per time, until you go beyond these realms and begin to sojourn in sovereign wealth. That is when you are ready to lay gold like dust. That was what the young man Solomon did. And God says, Solo, you have finished me. Tonight, I give you a prayer point. There are people that give God prayer point. There are people who God give prayer point. I give you prayer. Ask me what you want. Solo said, Lord, I was just loving you. I was just loving you. And give me wisdom. He said, this matter pass wisdom. I have given you wisdom, but I give you plus wisdom. And Solomon was the richest in his time because he understood how to use transactional wealth to activate sovereign wealth. There was nobody as wealthy as Solomon in his days, because there was nobody that sacrificed like Solomon in his days. The key that provokes sovereign wealth is sacrifice. The key that provokes sovereign wealth is sacrifice. There is a sacrifice that needs to be on the altar for sovereign wealth to be activated. And there's a mega release that will shock every human being around your space. That was what Solomon did. And God blessed him with wisdom, because when sovereign wealth releases wealth, or when the sovereignty of God releases wealth, it doesn't just release material wealth. It releases wealth from all dimensions. Wisdom, insight, anointing, and a lot of things that go with it. That was the story of Solomon. how did he get there? By sacrifice. This is the wisdom. You know, when God's people are not taught, they depend on a system that cannot pay them but robs them. Many of you have depended, and you are depending on a system that is robbing you. If it's not what I'm explaining to you now, you wouldn't know how robbed and how much the system robbed you. So when you come to church, on the altar of transaction, you drop 200 naira and go and do a transfer of 200,000. And that 200,000, when you need it, will reduce to 140,000. If ever you collect it when you want, because money fails. So you find out that someone that is greater than Solomon came on the scene and knew that the way we lay hold on sovereign wealth is through sacrifice. So he didn't sacrifice goat, he didn't sacrifice bull, he sacrificed himself. And when he sacrificed himself, God said, you opened and closed the book. There is none like you. From today, my signature shall be your name. You are my right hand man. By your name, men shall buy and sell in heaven. When they call your name, every knee will go down. So I'm not just giving you authority. I'm not just giving you riches. I'm giving you dominion and influence in the three dimensions of existence. In heaven, when your name is called, elders and thrones and dominions will bow. On earth, when it's called, they bow. In hell, when it's called, they bow. Why? Because you understood that the key to activating sovereign wealth is sacrifice. It's in the Bible. In the book of Revelation chapter 5. Some of us stop at verse 10. But until you journey to verse 12. Revelation chapter 5. Revelation chapter 5. Sorry for taking your time. But I needed to do this. To lay the right foundation. And it's now left for you to go in the right direction. And everything about your life changes. And you have caused them to become a kingdom of priests for our God, and they will reign on the earth. Verse 11. Verse 11. Then I looked again, and I heard the voice of thousands and millions of angels around the throne of the living being and elders. All of them were talking. And what were they saying? Verse 12. Verse 12. And they sang in a mighty chorus, worthy is the Lamb who was slaughtered. What's the word slaughtered? Sacrificed. To receive. The sacrifice was to receive. The sacrifice was to receive something. And what did he receive? Sovereign wealth. A dimension nobody before, nobody after him can ever lay hold on. Myself, I've sworn that I will make you wealthy. So I came this morning to tell you that there's something you are missing. Stop playing at the low level, at the shallow waters of the spirit. It's time to journey up. It's time for the sovereign wealth to be activated. It's time for you to mine the sovereign wealth deliberately as a Christian. The rest will be miracles. The rest will be testimonies. In the book of Mark chapter 10, from verse 29, I close from there. There are many scriptures. This is what Paul said in the book of Philippians chapter 4 from verse 14 down. This is the transaction that Paul understood.